It is about the two poorest presidents in the world. And these two presidents, their story is unbelievable. They are Ibrahim Traoré from Burkina Faso and José Mujica from Uruguay. When you listen to their stories, hear what they have done and what they are still doing, you will be marveled, and you will be thankful for God for bringing such good leaders onto the earth, because these two leaders are setting the template of good governance. And that is the reason we want to talk about them. José Mujica was president of Uruguay from 2010 to 2015. But one special thing about him is he never thought about himself. Instead, he thought about the people he governed. As a president, he was to collect a $12,000 every month as salary. He looked at Uruguay and said, no, there is no way he can collect such big amount of money as a human being looking at the poor people in Uruguay suffering. That would be an injustice. He went to collect only $250. The rest money he gave it for charity every month the same. José Mujica, the world's poorest president. It's a common grumble that politicians' lifestyles are far removed from those of their electorate. Not so in Uruguay. Meet the president, who lives on a ramshackle farm and gives away most of his pay. Laundry is strung outside the house. The water comes from a well in a yard, overgrown with weeds. Only 2 police officers and Manuela, a 3-legged dog, keep watch outside. This is the residence of the president of Uruguay, José Mujica, whose lifestyle clearly differs sharply from that of most other world leaders. President Mujica has shunned the luxurious house that the Uruguayan state provides for its leaders and opted to stay at his wife's farmhouse off a dirt road outside the capital, Montevideo. The president and his wife work the land themselves, growing flowers. This austere lifestyle and the fact that Mujica donates about 90% of his monthly salary, equivalent to $12,000, $7,500, to charity, has led him to be labeled the poorest president in the world. I've lived like this most of my life, he says, sitting on an old chair in his garden, using a cushion favored by Manuela the dog. I can live well with what I have. His charitable donations, which benefit poor people and small entrepreneurs, mean his salary is roughly in line with the average Uruguayan income of $775, $485 a month. Uruguay never had a good economy until José Mujica came into power. Since then, Uruguay has began to recover. Due to his good governance, after he ruled Uruguay, his wife later became vice president, which is unbelievable. And José Mujica, during the time he was reeling Uruguay, until today, he has only 1987 vox. And he said that is enough for him. Now, let's go back to Africa to talk about Ibrahim Traoré, who is doing the same thing in Burkina Faso, or even doing more than José Mujica. I will tell you the reason Ibrahim Traoré is doing more than José Mujica. But they are all doing amazing things. Ibrahim Traoré is the youngest president in the world. He is not as old as José Mujica. At his age, he's supposed to be a big guy, an arrogant boy. But no, he is only young in flesh, but old and thinking. What do I mean by that? Ibrahim Traoré came into power in September 2022. When he came into power, he had one vehicle, and that vehicle is a Land Rover Defender 1991, bulletproofed. He decided not to change that vehicle up to today. That vehicle is what he drives everywhere he goes. He said, no need to change the vehicle, that Burkina Faso doesn't have enough money. Instead of changing the vehicle, he went ahead and bought tractors. And instead of approving SUV for senators, for governors, for local government chairmen, he used the money and bought tractors and sent people to farm. That is good governance. And one amazing thing about Ibrahim Traoré is he is not only sitting in government office. In most of his time, he carries his own gun, AK-47 or pistol, by himself, and go to the war fronts by himself. He visits construction sites. He visits poor people from one village to another with the Range Rover Defender 1991 model. He did not approve any vehicle for anybody. And look at what is happening in Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is now having new airport, new route, new machinery for agriculture. Also, Burkina Faso is now acquiring drones for protection, and so on and so forth. Since he took over Burkina Faso has never had it so good as they are having it now.